Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Lamont, and I am your hostess of Ladies Get Your Prance On. And each week I bring a special expert into the house, and we have got Jane Powers, who is a sales and speaking coach coming all the way from Arizona. And I asked her before we started the show, I go, is it warm there? She goes, it's sunny, but it's very cold. Welcome, Jane.
Hello there. How is everybody? I hope you are staying warm. I think you're saying you had 6 inches of snow. Well, we've got 6 feet of sun here.
There you go. I will take the sun any day of the week. So yes, definitely weather change. So one of the reasons I was so happy to get you on the show, and your schedule's been, you are booked solid, but you are the first person in 8 years that I love what it is that you do so much that I've chosen to affiliate with you. I have not done that with anybody before. And I am telling you, for people who are struggling, for people who have bought into these other packages and they've been told you can make, 10 times? Is that what we were talking about?
10x your business.
10x your business. Jane really knows her stuff. Or shit. Can we say shit? It's my show. I guess we could say shit.
Hey, you're the leader.
And one of the things that a lot of women that I talk to, entrepreneurs, that struggle with is when they go to these events and they get to do their little elevator pitch. And so I said, if you could really help overcome, we are women, we're not men. Hi, I'm Steve and I sell insurance and buy from me or whatever. So if you can start with maybe that of talking about that.
I love that because it happens to be one of my favorite subjects. By the way, as you know, I've got a challenge coming up. I'm not pitching the challenge. I'm telling you, I'm excited about the title because the challenge is Ditch Your Elevator Pitch 5-Day Challenge. Because quite frankly, gone are the days of the elevator pitch. Most people start with, because you're like, what's your work in the world? And they're like, I hate that question. So let me tell you, what I do and what I train to do is called an intromercial. So how do you introduce yourself in 17.5 seconds? So let me demonstrate it. And then however we want to make this work for your audience, Lisa, I will break that down for everybody so that no longer do they have to have an elevator pitch. So I'm Jane Powers. Entrepreneurs hire me to speak with confidence and sell with authority because most are boring, confusing, and inconsistent. And I'm probably the only one who will tell them. So I help them connect, capture, and close their ideal clients. Bottom line, every time you open your mouth, you make money. I do that everywhere and anywhere. I go networking. I am speaking from stage. I deliver my infomercial. People know exactly what I do. I am seen as the expert because here's the hint. Entrepreneurs hire me. Women hire me. Corporations hire me. What that says is I have a viable business. If we say I help, in my opinion, you sound like a volunteer. So gone are the days of the elevator pitch. And nobody, I hate to say this, nobody cares how you do it. Like I work with anywhere from corporate executives to healers. And tappers. And they're like, what I do is I'll take you through a series of tapping. We don't care how you do it. Just tell me what's in it for me.
Yes.
So yes, it is the dreaded question, and it is the number one. I actually trademarked the infomercial because it is my secret weapon. That's my secret weapon. It's like I say everybody should have a parlor trick because people go, oh, that's amazing. That's my parlor trick, my Rain Man trick. You throw words at me and I'll make you thousands of dollars. 10x them. No, I'm kidding. Make you thousands of dollars. Truly, because it opens a lot of doors because people go, she knows what she's talking about.
Well, it was funny before the show started too. We were talking, 10x. Well, you could offer 10x if they're making, $100 or $200 a month. You could 10x it, and for those of you who are those 6-figure coaches, there are some of you who do very well and you help your people. So I am not throwing any 6-figure coach under the bus. It's those of you who are successful 6-figure coaches, you know what I'm talking about because you have other people who can just hang a sign and say that. And there are those of you who I know who legitimately help their clients. So I don't want to pinhole anybody and throw them under the bus. I love elevator pitches because I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And the last event I went to, you had 30 seconds. And I went there and I just said, I unhypnotize people by helping them remove their old stories and thoughts that no longer serve them so they can be successful in their business. Boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, what does that tell you about me?
Well, it tells you how you do it.
Yes.
Instead of who hires you. And quite frankly, you know, you're addressing some of the people. There are people that are new out there. I mean, I'm a 7-figure coach, and I know I'm learning something every single day. Every single day. Sometimes things will come out of my mouth and I'm like, oh, like the other day, we were on the marketer's cruise, and I don't even know what came over me, but my pet peeve is to start with I help. And somebody caught me off guard, and they were, I don't know if it was rushed, and I'm like, well, I help. And I'm like, oh, I just said that. Like, that goes against every rule that I have. So I think every turn of the spiral, every time we're expanding who we are in our business. I'll give you an example. I work with Jay Facette. Some of you may know him. He was closing like 5,000 from stage. And he's like, I can't do any more. And I'm like, you can. So I created his entire talk. He started closing 128,000 in an hour and 15 minutes. Same time frame. And it comes from how do we articulate what we do? And it does. It starts from hello to when you're on stage. And again, for me, it doesn't matter how much people are making. It doesn't. I don't care. If you've got a message, let's make it so powerful that you're not wasting time with a lot of words that do nothing for your user. The end user is who we really care about. We serve more by saying clearly what we do.
Yes. And I say and a lot. I do that a lot on my show. I'm like, and to add on, there's a lot of people out there who are brand ambassadors for other companies, you know, hair care products, oil essence, and things like that. And I tell the people when they go in there, they just go in there, you know, it's like people want to like get away from you. Like they think you're try to make them sell the products and all of that. Do you work with people who do sell a product and help them so they don't sound salesy?
Yeah, I work with a lot of MLMers, network marketers. Because truly we all are. Yes. Like we're all network marketing, but here's what I tell people that are network marketers or MLMers. Do not use the words amazing. Do not use the words it's a miracle. Like people go, wow, it's a network marketer, and everybody runs the opposite direction. Yeah. Or you want a part-time job, like part-time work from home. Yes, MLMers, it's so important. And here's there's a difference between how you introduce yourself. For example, if I'm selling doTERRA, is it do or don't? I'm so bad because I buy this. I don't
know either. I don't.
I buy this stuff. Okay, let's just say it's Arbonne. That's the easier one. Okay. So instead of saying entrepreneurs hire me, you're saying entrepreneurs partner with me for ultimate health and wellness. Or it's got to deliver the promise. And quite frankly, what I would recommend for MLMers, package something and get a niche. Menopausal women hire me to defy the, inevitable aging. Yeah, the aging process, to defy the odds of aging. Yeah. Or if it's wellness, and it's part of your product line, women hire me to stop losing the same 40 or 10 pounds over and over again. I'm going to listen to that. And then you can say, in your benefits, so I partner with you to have these things. So it depends. It's so key that we're helping the listener, your ideal client, know what the pain points are, but they also need to know the benefits. They don't need to know they're going to take 5 drops of this and 8 pills of that and 42, wrappings of this. We don't care. Just tell us what's in it for us. But yeah, MLMers, I'm like, if I hear you say the word amazing, you owe me $1 every time. And it is such a big rule because it becomes the lingo of the company they're representing. What I am a firm believer, find your voice, find your power. In your power, you can do anything, but it's uniquely yours. I do a speaker assessment, and I would love to gift that, and we've got it under construction right now, but I'll give them another way to connect with me. But what's important is I have one of the speaking types is the impersonator. And we get a lot of people out there that I look and I'm like, I think that's a Tony Robbins move. And there's a number of guys out there doing the Tony Robbins clap and all the jumping and, you know, dropping the F-bomb or whatever. And I think it's really important that we become uniquely who we are and we articulate that. So don't be a copycat. Don't get somebody else's stuff and go, that sounds great. I'm going to do just like them. And I was guilty of that early on.
But even, and I want to jump in and say, but even if you do copy, acknowledge. Go, you're going to see me dancing around like Tony Robbins. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, and I've incorporated, like acknowledge them.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to do that, give credit to where your style is coming from. If you're going to notice me go, woo, 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 you know, this is what I do. So acknowledge, if you're going to copy somebody, at least acknowledge them and do that.
And,
so for example, I have a trademark on the term mirror love. And that came from, and I tell people, that started with mirror work from Louise Hay. When I read her book 15 years ago, You Can Heal Your Life. I said, and I got talking with a friend one day, and she goes, it shouldn't be work to love ourselves. And it was like, mirror love. And so do I give credit for Louise Hay? All the time. I say mirror love came from Louise Hay. And I went down, matter of fact, I went to Hay House this last summer, stayed with a girlfriend in Carlsbad, and I went in there and I told the woman that was there, because I had my picture taken with Louise Hay, because I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, you know, I want you to know that I have a trademark I got last year of mirror love. And I said, and I know in my heart that Louise supports me on that. And she goes, just a minute. And she walks away, and I look at my girlfriend, Romy. I said, oh, am I in trouble? Like, is she going to go talk to a lawyer, my trademark infringement? And she comes back with this stack of books of Louise's. And she goes, Louise wants you to know she's passing you the baton.
Wow.
I just started shaking and tears, and Romy's like, oh my God. And then she goes, wait, I have one more thing. And she left, and I'm just shaking. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And she came back with the 2019 daily calendar. She goes, Louise said this will help you with your messages for next year.
Wow.
Boom. Now, if that's not authentic story, and this is the first time I've shared the story is with you, so thank you. But it's a perfect timing to say you can still mirror somebody and admire them, but give them credit where it comes from, because people know bullshit when they see it.
Yeah, and that is authenticity to the T. I'll tell you what I did. You may know Mary Morrissey. I worked with Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor and a lot of the greats in the New Thought movement, and I have no style whatsoever like Mary. Mary wears suits. I wear leather pants and jackets. Like, I'm so edgy. I am so direct. I'm so different than her. But I was delivering my talks that were really mirroring her. So I'd say things very caring. If, there is a greater evolution seeking to emerge by you, through you, with you, by means of you, the green growing edge. And I'm listening to myself. I'm like, it's profound, but it wasn't me. So it can't be, if it's aligned with who you are, absolutely. Like yours was so on point. Mine was, I didn't have the confidence in myself to be able to deliver information in my way until I went, I've been studying this longer than, 25 years. I think I got it. So yeah, absolutely. But authenticity, you're right. The audience, no matter what the platform is, even this one, if I'm like, well, so here I am and I'm awesome. If I sound totally out of alignment, I would tell people turn this off. But it's about being authentic on any platform, like so key, so absolutely profound.
Share with the people watching how many shows you've just come off of doing before mine.
I have 2 today. I think I've got 5. And then I've been on stages. So I'm addicted. I will confess, I am powerless over stages. Like, I love being on platforms. It has gotten me to where I am in my business. I just did my first launch last year, because I swear, I always tell that I've been in business 11 years, and people are like, when are you going to launch? When are you going to launch? Swear I thought they were saying lunch. I'm like, I love food. I will go to lunch. They're like, no, like the launch thing. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to do it. I was resistant to anything online. And I I know it's necessary, but I'll tell you, I made multiple, like a lot of zeros on my income, added on to my income by speaking. And that's what I love doing.
That leads me to my next question. The entrepreneurs, there's a lot of them that are introverted or they're starting out new and they really want to have that moment to maybe go talk to a women's group, maybe ultimately a big stage like you talk on. But I'm talking about where can they start, and do you help people craft that talk so they're not scared and that they sound like they know what they're talking about?
Yes, that's all I do. I love that. And I'm originally from Chicago. Chicago, we tend to be yesterday or the day before. Like for me, and it's just personally who I am all about fire, ready, aim. So I'm not a marinator. Let's get ready to get ready, get it ready. So when I work with clients, when you hand any client, and I know this, and I'm not knocking online programs because there are some brilliant ones out there, but the majority of people either won't even open them or they won't get inside of them. And then when they do, they finish about 20% of it. So I take pride in receiving money and investment from someone. So what I do is I actually sit down and write their talk for them. I'm a ghostwriter, so I listen, I interview you, and then I write your entire talk. We polish it up and I send you out in the world. And I've had people, I've written their talk one day, the next day they go and they've closed a room. Like seriously. So let me give some tips, because people may say, gosh, I want to work with Jane. That's great. Or some people may say, I don't know if that's a good fit for me. Either way, let me give you some tips of what you want to do when you go out and speak. The very first thing you want to do, you must never start your talk with, hi, I'm Jane Powers and I am awesome. You know, thank you for having me here. Don't do that. Start with a wow factor. And don't say, I'm going to tell you this quote. Just hit it and say, all the water in the world will not drown you unless it gets inside of you. Eleanor Roosevelt knew exactly what it was like to be an entrepreneur. I'm Jane Powers, and then you introduce yourself. What that says is, I'm no ordinary speaker. So I'm going to give you, this is the beginning formula of your talk. Number one, wow them. A quote, a story, anything different than, hi, I'm Jane, thank you for having me, because that's boring, and you have enough time for that. The next thing is you must position yourself. I call it position me. So position yourself as the expert. I don't start with my infomercial, but I say I'm Jane Powers. I've created 3 multi-million-dollar businesses, a 6-figure coaching business in under 11 months with 300 on my list. I did that with a handshake, a smile, and a talk. And then I go into a number of different factors about myself. So 3 lines why you are awesome. And then position your audience. Everybody misses this, Lisa. They all miss this part. They don't want to offend the audience. You don't have to offend the audience, but you have to help poke the bruise. So it looks like this. I'm awesome. Yeah, you just poke it gently. Like, don't put salt on the wound, because that's me. Just gently. And the way you do this, these are really powerful words that you're going to use. So I tell them, I'm Jane Powers. Here's why I'm awesome. And then I move into where their problem is. And I start by saying, many of you might be looking for, and use the words might, may, most, some. Because you're not saying you all are in big trouble. So what I do is I say, many of you are looking for a talk that actually sells. Many of you are looking how to monetize your message. Some of you already have a talk and you're not closing and converting at the level you should. Most of you, and then I go into all the pain points, so I am poking the bruise of the audience. Yeah. Then I position my offer. And quite frankly, positioning yourself, positioning them, positions everything around the offer. And then you move, it doesn't matter if it's free. I have closed, I spoke at an event, a pay to play. I closed, couldn't sell a thing, and closed $78,000. Not because I'm, oh, you're such a great speaker. I'm a pretty good speaker. I have a formula that leads the audience from who are you to, oh my God, what did I just buy? I've had people run to the back of the room and they go, I just bought whatever you were selling. What was it? I'm like, well, apparently you don't care because you bought it. So you get people eating out of your hands by being authentic and sharing the power of who you are and that you get them. Everybody wants to be validated, but don't position yourself. And if they need a widget built, and you can't build widgets, don't sell them on, I can build you a widget because I'm that awesome. Refer them off to a widget builder.
Okay. I'm gonna say something that, you know, the poking. So I'm gonna poke you, the guest. There are some women out there who say they're turned off by people who go on stage and sell. Like, I'm not here to be sold to. And I want to call them out and say that's a lie.
Well,
they're there to grow their business. Can you address that?
Yeah, and here's what, there's two things that I have around that. And I've experienced this where I've been at events where they're like, can you believe they're selling us? And I want to say, did your rock just get turned over and let you out yesterday? Because this is how we all do business.
Yes.
So part of it is, so that's one part. Maybe they're new. Now, I'm not a big fan of a pitchathon. Like, that drives me crazy. I just came off of that 7-day event. We had 13 pitches, one after the next. For me, that's annoying. Unless you're saying, listen, we're inviting you here, I'm going to pitch the heck out of you. Okay, then I know what's happening. But here's when that person gets offended. For example, I do a 3-day event, and everybody, all of your listeners, if they go to letstalkimpact.com, letstalkimpact.com, that is the secret code. You get a free ticket there. You come as my guest. You got to put the seat deposit down. Don't anybody get offended by that. I'm putting down $40,000 to pay for the event, but everybody can have a ticket. Here's what I think happens is when they're selling from stage, it goes from, hey, I'm going to teach you so much. I love and adore you, and this is going to be great, to now I've got an offer for you. And they become a salesperson. Yes. It's a disconnect with authenticity. So that could be one of the reasons that people are like, I can't believe they're always pitching. I don't want to be sold to. I don't want to be sold to unless somebody hears and validates my pain. The other issue people have, I believe, is they aren't able to sell from stage. So they resent people that can. You know, your brand is, the life is a mirror. Like, everything if we're looking at someone going, I can't believe you're selling, you're pitching so hard to me. We got to look at, where am I selling hard? Where might I be missing and out of alignment with how I'm making the offer? So there's so many reasons, but I would say if I did not make an offer from stage, it's a disservice to my audience, because I'm saying, I'm awesome, you're screwed, I've got the solution, bye-bye. Like, it's my responsibility to say, hey, if you want support, I'm happy to support you. If you have a yes in you, make it a yes. If it's a no, make it a firm no. I'm going to survive either way. Will you? And that's the truth of the matter. If it's not for you, why do we get angry at someone for making a pitch? Unless they're slimy. Like, that always bugs me.
Yeah, that does too. You know, and I tell people, I may not be the right fit for you, but that's okay. Like, but there might be somebody else out there who really needs my help and needs my services. They've been struggling for 2 years, and what they're doing and whoever they've hired, they're not working with. Do you also work with people who have worked with other coaches and help them? I mean, because a lot of people are going, I've already invested $5,000, I've invested $10,000, I'm not seeing any ROI. One thing I say to those people, I go, some of it's on you too. You know, the coaches can only coach, but it's up to you. If they're going to tell you, you know, if you want to run a marathon, this is what you build up to run the marathon. But if you're not going to get on the treadmill or get your coat on and go run, I can't help you run the marathon. So can you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I tend to clean up a lot of messes that people have either created with another coach or have created on their own. One thing that I do that I think is really vitally important, and it's not I can do all, but I know how to stop the bleeding. And it's funny, I just got off a call before our time here with a gal who paid, I think, you know, around 30 grand and said, I am working my tail off, but the system isn't in alignment with me getting results. And what I do is I say, when people work with me, I say, you're going on a diet. This is a great thing to do for many of your clients. Go on a diet. You cannot invest in another program until we recoup the money that you have spent. And that's really important for me. I grew up, my money story, my mother was the youngest of 12. My grandfather, her dad, lost the farm to alcoholism. She went on welfare. My dad was raised in the Depression. I grew up in the country club thinking we were going to be homeless the next day because everything was about being black-minded. So I have a tendency to not like to spend a lot of money. I love to keep a lot of money and not spend a lot. So when I do with my clients, I tell them, here's how you grow your business. Your investment in me is the first stop. And then we are not investing unless we run it through your strategic plan in your business. And then I send them out on stages, and I'm not kidding you, they're closing first talk. I had one client read her talk. She was actually on a podcast. She actually cried during it and closed, like just got all quivery, closed $17,000 before she got off the podcast. The next week she closed $6,000. And Heidi Mount is her name. You could look her up. Now she was like, swear to God, I do not want to be on a stage. This past year, she was on a stage of 300, and then now is speaking to 300 or 600. I can't remember the next one. But the truth is that it's truly about aligning with what is going to bring you the greatest joy. For my clients, they want to get their message out into the world. And it doesn't matter if they want to be on a stage or on a podcast, but the important piece is taking everything you've been working on. Everything is for a reason, everything that we've gone through. And trust me, my first 3 years in coaching, I spent about $300,000. Some of it, and I'm a doer. Like, I don't mess around. I will do everything and anything to make things work. And you know, some were great, some were terrible. Some were just downright. One coach, I paid $18,000 and met the team, then met the coach and went, oh my, I can't even work with this person. And I walked away. $18,000 because I knew I wasn't getting back, but I wasn't going to be abused. Yeah. So we you know, there's some great coaches out there. Don't get me wrong. There are great coaches out there. You gotta ask around. I let my prospects call my clients, get referrals. Am I the real deal? Check out the clients and ask some really important questions, because what's key about picking a coach, have they done what you want to do? And have they done it successfully? How long have they done it? I sponsor events and go speak on stages, and I ask a ton of questions. How many events? What do you close? What are you selling? And it's really important. We don't just let like I used to put coaches up on a pedestal that I hired, and I'll tell you, every time they fell off of it. My fault. I shouldn't have done that. I should have stayed in my power. Yes. And then, now you got me on a soapbox of coaching.
I love it. Go on. Because this is really what happens out there. And I love that you tell people, look into their background. Find out, it's like looking at someone's resume. Is it real? Or is it fake, or is it padded? I mean, if I cross the border from Washington into Vancouver and I talk to a little group of 6 women, I can put on my resume, I'm an international speaker. And I know people that do that. Yeah. And I'm like going, what's going to happen on the day when they're going to tell me what countries have you spoken in, and what was the size of the audience? You know, six, I spoke in Canada, you know, make it broad, Canada. Where in Canada? Oh, Vancouver, you know. So I'm just kind of, we have to ask the questions, and women are afraid they don't want to offend anybody. But if you're real and you're authentic, there's no question you can ask me, or I'm asking you, that will offend you. I mean, I address the fact of, you know, selling on stage. Now, some people wouldn't have said that, but this, and you handled it beautifully.
Yeah. So, and here's what this is funny, because I have my May event coming up. And I was talking to some clients, because a number of clients went with me on this event, which was on a cruise. And a number of my clients, and I didn't see them during the cruise, but there were a number of guru coaches that had all their minions following them. And I left, I said to my business partner, I said, our clients aren't needy, are they? And they go, because you teach them to be strong, independent, and not think you are all that. And I think that's so key. And I'm like, you know what I'm doing at the next event? I'm going to have a Kool-Aid sponsor, and I'm going to serve Kool-Aid, because it's like, maybe they're not drinking enough Kool-Aid to,
well,
because
that's hilarious.
Isn't that the funniest thing? I'm like, so one of my clients,
champagne glasses.
And we're going to get the big Kool-Aid guy, because yep. And I'll tell you, I came from a very complicated childhood. Like, I came from a childhood that most people wouldn't live through. And my struggle was constantly, if everybody was going left, I'm going right. Like that was just how I survived. I was like, no, I am independent. I'm going to do it on my own. And what I found is when I started in the coaching realm is I started to see them. I needed them in order to be enough. And I didn't realize I was enough. And that's a lot of the problem that we have in the entrepreneurial world, especially women. No offense, I am one. Especially women. We get this I'm not worth the price. I'm not worthy of, and it's all about, do I have the value? And what we tend to do is look to the outside world, maybe just me, maybe others, but what we do is look to the outside world to say, yes, you can sell it at that. Here's what's worse is when they're like, oh, you should sell that for, $2,080 million. And you're like, why? Well, because you can. No, that's not a good enough reason to charge through the roof. Yeah. It must align with the value you're giving and the value that you feel about yourself. Yes. And then you incrementally increase through experience. But yeah, there are so many things. I can go on and on, but truth be told, I gave away my power and it cost me thousands of dollars. What I do in my program is I help people find their power through their voice, and therefore then they can grow in any way that they so choose. But it's all about owning your own brilliance.
And I'm going to be sharing on linking to this show, both radio and video, all your contact information too, but I'll have you at the ending. Can you talk about this cruise? Is this something that the people watching can be part of, or is this an exclusive?
No, they can if they so choose. It's the marketer's cruise. So I don't know if people are online marketers, but it's a marketer's cruise. Here's what I would say. There's a secret link somewhere that I have access to that we found. I don't know why it's secret, but you'll get all my contact information. If you are interested, I will give you the lowdown on it. But it's this time, I think last year it was 300. This year it was 470. It's people looking, a lot of them are online marketers, and they're looking for people to promote and work with on the different ventures that they're doing.
Great. And where is this cruise going to be held?
The next one is leaving out of Florida and going to the Caribbean.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's 8 days. It's affordable. The guy who runs it, Captain Lou, is awesome. But send me some information. I'll get you hooked up. I've got a couple of links that we can get you connected with. But I have so many places that I speak that if people are looking for joint ventures, if people are looking for, like my event coming up in May, it's all about sales and speaking. And what I do in there. That's
what I was referring to too. I want you to talk about that. Can you
that one is my event. That one I have one in May, and that's May 15. Well, I'm sorry, 16, 17, 18. VIP is the 15th. Oh, you know what's so cool? Here's what people should do. I get so excited. I got so many things. We're doing a challenge that is starting on the 25th, and it's how to create your own infomercial. What I just did, Entrepreneurs Hire Me to Speak with Confidence, Sell with Authority. Through the 5 days, I'm going to go through the challenge of creating that. We're giving away gifts every day. And then I'm doing 2 live trainings afterwards. So no matter what information that, Lisa, you post, opt into whatever it is. And then I'll lead you through the challenge, which then gets you a ticket to the event, which I gave you anyway. What happens at the event? I love this. You get your infomercial polished up and you deliver it within the event. We'll probably have about 150 people there, maybe 200. Then what I do is I teach you how to do your talk, how to sell, overcome objections, how to do a presentation, sales presentation, talk presentation. It's workshop format, and it's fun. If it's not fun, I swear I will leave. Like if I'm bored, you guys are on your own.
Okay, well, and here's the other thing that you just shared. So, my little my Oprah light bulb, this is an opportunity for women to meet other new women. Like people get in their little groups and their connections. Like you said, they have their little, it's time to break out and get out of your backyard and experience some new people and get into their backyards and get the introductions. I mean, not only are they going to walk away with an elevator and learn how to, tips on speaking and that, but they're also going to meet new people.
And create joint venture partners in there. I have people walking out of there going, I just met Jenny, we're doing a live event together. I have people, and I'm telling you, this is a lonely world. Entrepreneurship is lonely. It's you can only talk to the walls so much. And partnerships are important. And what I bring into the room is I make sure that we talk about how do you partner effectively? How do you make sure you're within alignment with what you do and honoring? Because I've done that too. I've partnered with people and I've done 98.9% of the work, sold 98.9% and paid 50% of the income. And that was 6 months. I closed $600,000. I wrote a check for 300. I teach people how to be smart in their decisions and how to maximize their own genius. And then people get caught in your wake. At the event, and if you upgrade to VIP, like hang out with me, just get on my mailing list, because every once in a while there is a discount. And these are the people that are like, don't sell me. I'm gonna sell you, because how else do I get you to the event to learn and just catapult your message? Like, that's the important thing. And it's funny because people are like, how did you learn? Like, have you always been this way? Nope. I was the invisible kid growing up. I just didn't talk a lot. I was angry a lot. And until I truly began to step into my power and confront the world's demons, my family's demons, I didn't say a word. I was shy. And then once I came out and started telling my truth, you couldn't shut me up. And I actually was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. That's what got me finally opening up to the world to say, you know what? Nobody has to be silent anymore.
You were on Oprah?
Yeah, it was 100 years ago. 100 years ago.
It doesn't matter. That's important. I've always wanted to. That was on my bucket list to go see Oprah live. So you're the first person I met that's ever been on her show.
I did. This is so terrible. I didn't like her.
That's okay.
And here's why. And I'll tell you. So it was what she called for, and I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, and that was her entire studio and audience. Sexual abuse survivors. And what she did was she announced that, but never disclosed to the audience that she was going to tell 5 million people. And there were people sitting there mortified because they had never told a soul. There was guys in the audience going, oh my God, I will never be able to show my face again. So it was almost a re-victimization of what was happening. So, and then we were walking through lunch. She's like, yeah, I didn't need therapy. And I'm like, and then the thing that I appreciated, this is a cool story.
Yeah.
So I get a call, I don't know, it was probably 6 months later, maybe 8 months later, and they asked me to come back to the show. And I said, there is no way I will ever come back on that show. And she said, the gal who had called me, and she said, help us understand that. And I said, I'm going to tell you, I'm an expert at working with survivors of sexual abuse, doing interventions. Here are the mistakes that Oprah made. She got 3 of the producers and directors on the line with me. I coached them because I was working with counselors and professionals.
And that's what you are. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So you're coaching Oprah's producers.
Yeah. So I gave them language. I gave them ways that they could do it differently. And they said, please come to the studio. And I said, nope, I just can't bring myself to do it. They said, please watch the show. And this is where I feel Oprah regained respect for me. She used the language, and maybe it wasn't me, but I spent an hour and a half with them, and the show was brilliant. So that's my claim to fame that nobody knows about.
And also, and not to throw Oprah completely under the bus, because Oprah still is guided by her producers and what she's going to talk about. And Oprah, being a survivor herself of sexual abuse, it's interesting because it took courage for you to say, I'm not a big Oprah fan and here's why. And then you shared your why, but you also redeemed, that she heard me and she listened. And that's important. We've got to be able to speak our truth.
Yes.
And a lot of people hold back from that. And you could have gone along and say, okay, I'm going to go on the show. And then I'm, if I get a talk, I'm going to say something else. So you were quote unquote authentic, which can be overused all the time, but that's the reality of it. I'm so excited. Thank you for staying. I kept you on long, but we were talking about so much. I'm going to have you back. So what is the best way, Jane, for people to find you?
let's see. I'm gonna give you the more the merrier. If you want to get out there and speak, go to yourspeakersuccesskit.com. Yourspeakersuccesskit.com. Opt in. You're going to get on my mailing list. You'll get every invitation from there, but you're also going to get your Speaker Success Kit, which tells you where to go, what to say, all my scripting to get in and get booked. If you honestly want to get a hold of myself or anyone on my team, just email me. It could be jane@janemPowers.com, or just go straight to letstalkimpact.com and get into the event. We're still looking for speakers and sponsors, so you can set up a table in the back. You can hit the stage. We're looking for VIPs that want to hang out, and we feed you. And also, if you go to Let's Talk Impact and you register, Roadmap to Impact is going to be 30 days prior to the event. You work with me for 30 days. 3 calls, daily activities to get you so primed for the event. It'll blow you away.
I love it. So they're prepped before they go. I have to give a shout out to Erin Strayer.
Oh,
I love Erin.
Yes.
And Erin is the one that connected us, and she has such a heart of gold. And Erin, thank you for connecting us, introducing us. Like I said, this is the first time that I want to. I feel gracious that you're allowing me to be an affiliate with you, because you are the real deal. I'm
Thank you.
so tickled that you came on the show and shared all these wonderful tips that every entrepreneur can take advantage of.
Yes, I'm Erin. I adore Erin. She just left. She was actually on the cruise with us and just left. Whenever I do Erin's show, she's like, it'll be 30 minutes. I'm like, well, we go like an hour and 15. I just we keep going. It's so fun. But
I hope 3 of us are very similar that way.
I hope that your audiences gain value. I am a firm believer. Give everything. If they did give, they'll buy. If not, I hope everybody gets value from what what I can offer. So hang out, follow me. I say stalk me, because I do as much as I can to serve and make sure your voice gets heard and that you make some money, because otherwise we are just hobbyists and we're really business owners. So
absolutely. And the one thing, whether you like President Trump or you don't, he did state in his presidential union address how women are, they're taking over. There's more women entrepreneurs now than ever. So I want to, whether you like them or you don't, that doesn't matter. But the fact is, those numbers are real.
That might be only one. That's probably the one good thing he did say, I'm guessing. I don't listen.
No.
But you know what's key? Here's my mission this year is I tend to pay to play on stages, and I'm the only woman. Like, I stand there and there's 5 other guys on stage, and my goal is to take over. Like with my event, I want women on that stage. I want women willing to roll the dice on themselves. And when I work with people, what I do is, it's like playing with loaded dice. That's what we need to do. Just know and believe that what you do has value, and let's just take over and let's get on more stages and let's get out there and make a difference.
What's with the sunshine coming in? It's just like...
You're an angel. You're an angel.
And thank you for pointing that out too. I know we're going to wrap up the show, but I want to make a point. There's nothing more frustrating to see a women's conference and have half the speakers be men.
Oh, I hate that. Or the MC, and then they say girls. Like,
yes.
That is, don't even get me started. I'm telling you, I agree.
And that's not against men. There are men who are prancing kittens on my Prancing Kitten page. By the way, for those of you listening who don't know where I started this page from, if you go to prancingkitten.com, it will take you to the Facebook page. And Prancing Kittens I started for women entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, we always land on our feet like a cat, no matter what is thrown at us. And so that's where Prancing Kittens came from, because it goes, I wanted a whimsical yaya sisterhood. So Jane, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm definitely going to have you back again. Goodbye, everybody.